from Monday to Thursday. And then on the Friday, we shall be having the launch of a very, very special project called the Regional Center of Excellence. So it's quite a packed week. If you have already registered for the training, I'm sure you have already gotten a confirmation, as well as the agenda and the logistical note if you are coming from overseas. And in this particular webinar, I will hand it over to Esri to proceed. But in case there's any question regarding the training and any logistical arrangement, please feel free to put it in the chat and we should be able to respond to it. Thank you very much. Over to you, Esri.
Thank you, Ngugi, for that. So I'm happy to see guys are still introducing themselves in the chat section. Please continue to do that. So just a bit of the house rules. If you have any question, please type it in the chat section and somebody will be able to answer that. Also, if you're very patient, you can wait until the end and then you can be able to ask your question after the presentation. If you do drop off, don't worry. A recording of this session will be provided at a later date. So without any further ado, let me ask today's facilitators, Joyce and Wens, to go ahead and take us through the session.
Thank you, Victor. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're calling from. Today, we'll be discussing how we can preserve biodiversity using ArcGIS, and we'll also have a short demonstration on Africa Geoportal. So just to introduce who we are, Esri is an organization that pioneers ArcGIS, which is a powerful mapping and analytics software. We empower organizations with location intelligence, thus helping people and nature coexist in harmony. We are a world leader in GIS, serving over 10 million users, and our client base cuts across industries such as businesses, and we cut across the education sector. We enable digital transformation in the utilities sector as well, that is energy, water, and telcos. We work with the transportation players and also governments. We have a number of special relationships that enrich our user community through their work that impacts all of us. For instance, we are working with the Jane Goodall Institute, and we're also working with the Nature Conservancy, the African Wildlife Foundation, and particularly the National Geographic Society. We have programs for NPOs and NGOs that support thousands of organizations. As part of our commitment to this mission, we have a number of programs and initiatives within Esri that are designed to help our users to maximize their impact. These are programs like the nonprofit program that provides low-cost access to ArcGIS, the conservation program that makes our technology available to conservation organizations just like you here in the call, and this organization protects our biodiversity, and our work is to support also racial equity and social justice. Our vision is to link science to action. As citizens of the world, we face a lot of challenges such as heat waves. We have just experienced that in the past 2 months in Nairobi. We hit a high of 30, 31 degrees. And research actually shows that changes such as unconstrained development in a city like Nairobi are leading to these heat waves in Nairobi, as confirmed by an article in the Star. Victor, maybe you can just project that. So from the Kenya Meteorological Department, we were actually advised that we'll be having high temperatures, and true to their word, we did have high temperatures. There was an advisory to stay indoors as much as we can, stay hydrated. And also there is another article that attributes this to the Nairobi buildings which cause heat waves. Thank you, Victor. So those are some of the problems that we're experiencing firsthand. We just came out of the pandemic, COVID-19, and we have other problems such as wildfires, which are attributed to the heat waves. We have natural disasters like floods. Our cities are congested. There is pollution. Our rivers are polluted. We have social conflicts and also a steep decline in biodiversity. So how do we address these challenges? We employ the geographic approach to address these challenges. And the geographic approach is a way of thinking and problem solving that integrates geographic science and information. And it's also an inclusive and multidisciplinary process. It integrates and accounts for all factors that provide a framework for understanding and applying our knowledge. So looking at the geographic approach, looking at the various processes in this approach, we are able to do data collection, could be primary or secondary data, looking at Earth observation or field data collection in the field. We are able to get this data, we are able to visualize if you're looking at climate change or deforestation, how has this changed over time? After doing our analysis, we are able to plan and design and make informed decisions, and at the end of the day, be able to take action. So the bottom line is that when we employ the geographic approach, we are able to link science to action. ArcGIS powers the geographic approach, and it's a system for managing, sharing, and applying geographic information. This system integrates all sources of data, big data, LiDAR, remote sensing, unstructured data, and tabular data. It supports hundreds of interconnected workflows, such as knowledge workers, GIS professionals, executives who make decisions at a high level, analysts, data scientists, and even stakeholder engagement. The system is accessible anywhere. As long as you have internet, you're able to get access to the internet, and thus it enhances collaboration and engagement between different organizations, teams, and communities at large. So we have just mentioned that we have had a glimpse of the ArcGIS system, and just to break it down, the various components, we do have desktop applications, and we have the new generation desktop application that has come in to replace ArcMap. So it's high time the ArcMap users migrate to ArcGIS Pro so that you're able to map as a pro. So our desktop applications support you to do your 2D and 3D mapping. You're able to perform analytics, and at the end of the day, you're able to draw insights from your data. We have mobile applications. We have the data collection suite, such as Survey 123. We do have field maps, quick capture, depending on whatever workflows that you have within your organization. You could employ either map-centric or form-centric data collection methodology. We also have web applications such as dashboards. You're able to visualize your data at a glance and make decisions, informed decisions. You're able to do mapping within ArcGIS Online, that is mapping and analysis. Still, you're able to do your 2D and 3D visualizations. Dashboards will enable you to do dynamic visual reporting. You are able to visualize trends and monitor status. We have story maps, which will enable you as a user to communicate geographic knowledge broadly. And some of the properties, just to mention a few of story maps, they are simple and they support image markup. They support multimedia, that is images, video, audio. And of course, from the name, you're telling a story using maps. It supports map choreography. You're able to embed content and also do your custom design. So at the end of the day, this system empowers everyone in the organization and beyond. ArcGIS is advancing. It's becoming interconnected. So we are moving from projects working in silos, single projects, to building systems. And at the end of the day, we are building a whole geospatial infrastructure, having a system of systems in place. We are leveraging on web services, and we are talking of portal of portals, like the Africa GeoPortal that we'll see later on as a demonstration in this webinar. So coming to the subject matter, we have a number of solutions for the conservation space. So we have a special interest in the conservation space, and we have working solutions curated specifically for the conservation industry. So our solutions entail protected area management. We have landscape conservation and also community conservation. Our conservation solutions have been used worldwide. We have global users, and Esri technology, we have global users across the world. So looking at the various, sorry, let me just go back. So Esri technology is being utilized in over 5,600 conservation organizations and over 500 national parks in more than 100 countries. Ideally, it's global. So reflecting at the scale, or rather on the scale of the conservation community we serve, while no organization works in isolation and likely has many active partners to advance our mission, I also want to convey that you who is in this webinar, or you're listening to me right now, you're part of a powerful global community of conservationists who leverage GIS to better understand, manage, and adapt to complex challenges that you're working to address. So ArcGIS is free to protected area managers across Africa through 2030. So given this opportunity, let's seize it and be able to use technology for good, or rather GIS for good. Amid accelerating threats to species and ecosystems, technology advancement to monitor, protect, and conserve biodiversity have taken on increased importance. While most innovations stem from adaptation of off-the-shelf devices, these tools can fail to meet the specialized needs of conservation and research, or lack the support to scale beyond a single site. So you'll find that we have issues with technology, such as technology is one of, or we have a disconnected kind of technology. The technology could be very costly, it's fragmented, it's not supporting collaboration amongst teams, it's only for single purpose. And also you'll find that workflows that are within an organization or within the technology are manual. Then this calls for system integration. So how do we provide, or how does ArcGIS provide a system for integration? So ArcGIS is an open platform. It's interoperable and also extendable. We are able to provide this solution or the platform to communities. We have APIs that can be integrated within the systems. We support open science, such as R and Python. We have open data, and also we have open standards that are adhered to within the system. ArcGIS is also secure in case you're thinking of data privacy, and this is accredited and tested at scale, looking at certifications and standard, looking at ownership, looking at encryption of communication from end to end. It is a secure system through and through. So let us look at modern conservation workflows. We have data collection. We could be reporting incidents of poaching or fire or threats such like illegal agriculture within a conservancy or a conservation area. We have a number of data collection tools that support this. At the end of the day, you don't want to collect data and just sit with it. There is a question that you're looking into answering. So you do analyze your data and you're able to answer these questions, and you're able to also do monitoring and look at trends. At the end of the day, our GIS supports operation planning and management. So we do have ArcGIS conservation solutions, and under protected management, we have a complete solution. We have complete solutions that support protection operations, wildlife management, community outreach, and infrastructure management. All these are accessible through ArcGIS solutions on both ArcGIS Online and Enterprise. So we do have a link here of all our solutions compiled. Margaret will be able to share that in the chat for you to interact with. Looking at landscape conservation, we support it. And let's take a closer look at the UN Global Diversity Framework, target number 3. So this one is set to ensure and enable that by least 30% of terrestrial, inland water, and coastal and marine ecosystems, especially area of particular importance for biodiversity and ecosystem functions and services, are effectively conserved and managed. Coming closer home, for instance, in Kenya, for example, Kenya's bid to raise the forest tree cover from the current state of 12.2% to 30% by 2032, it's still on course with 15 billion trees campaigned. We did have a holiday last year just to stay home and plant trees. I hope you guys did plant trees. So Kenya is looking at Sweden with her 68.7% forest cover as a case study. So the CS for Environment, Climate Change and Forestry requested the Swedish-based environmental research organization, that is Stockholm Environment Institute, to offer Kenya the technical support that is needed for the successful co-hosting of the African Climate Summit that was held last year in September. The summit consolidated Africa's common position ahead of last year's COP28 held in United Arab Emirates, as well as provided the continent's green growth blueprint. The CS mentioned in February last year that the African Union mandated our president, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, in his capacity as the current chair of the African Union Committee of African Heads of States on Climate Change, to convene the inaugural Africa Climate Summit that was hosted in Kenya. While nuisance exists across these commitments, each aims to stop the halting loss of species now underway and improve nature's and our resilience to climate crisis. Furthermore, these commitments propose approaches to reaching the 30 by 30 targets that does not put an additional burden on under-resourced and marginalized communities. Of particular significance is growing understanding of the importance of indigenous communities in the global conservation dialogue, and the value of incorporating traditional ecological knowledge in working towards sustainable conservation outcomes. So with that, ESRI is also supporting the Global Biodiversity Framework, GBF, through actionable conservation science. And we do have a webinar series. The link will be shared in the chat. You can access recordings of previous webinar series, and you can register for the upcoming ones. As part of our conservation initiative as ESRI, we have the Living Atlas of the World, which has petabytes of base maps, imagery, demographics, and thematic content that cover various aspects such as biodiversity, land cover, weather, and all these are user-shared maps and data, and they are authoritative spatial data layers that you can access for free. We have special initiatives that are supported by the ArcGIS Living Atlas. We have the land cover change 2017 to 2022. We have the likes of National Geographic Global Water Map. We have the World Terrestrial Ecosystems. We have Climate Resilience and Adaptation. We have Half Earth Project, Global Biodiversity. In addition, we do have indicators of the planet, such as air quality, drought, wildlife, coral bleaching. We're able to look at equity, women in climate, COVID-19, sea level rise, piracy, armed conflict, and so on and so forth. So we have a link for ArcGIS Living Atlas that will be shared in the chat as we continue. So just to mention that the Living Atlas of the World, this will form the base of our hands-on training session at the Bioperma workshop at Alsemadi on the 20th March. See you there as we explore more. Then we have community conservation. We are supporting conservationists in this area, and a good example would be the Jane Goodall Institute. So we fully support our community conservation players. We have been working closely with JGI, who put geodesign in action through the Takare approach. So geography is constantly changing, the likes of phenomena such as water, wind, temperature, and the dominance and extinction of species and ecosystems. But recent changes to geography as a direct result of human activities are threatening the survival of many species, including our own. And while the actions causing these monumental changes are often deliberate, much of the change to geography has been unintentional, byproduct of poor planning and unsustainable actions. Jen saw this herself when she returned to Gombe in Tanzania back in the 90s, and she noticed the overwhelming impact humans are having on the ecosystem. This impact was not just threatening the existence of the chimpanzees, but also threatening the health and well-being of people creating the impacts. She realized to improve the lives of animals, she had to first figure out how to improve the lives of humans, because humans and nature have to coexist. So modern humans are in an odd position. We are the root cause of many of these changes, yet we are also the keys to the halting and even reversing of the process. So how can we move away from this accidental geography and move towards changing geography by design, as a professor in Harvard calls it? So this led to a geodesign framework called Take Care, or in short, Takare. So the second half of Jen's career was defined by education, outreach, and building awareness. She has successfully taken the skills and techniques learned in the first half and broadened their impact through the creation of new outreach programs, such as Roots and Shoots and the Lake Tanganyika Catchment Restoration and Education, Takare, or Take Care program. She went from studying chimpanzees in a tiny valley in Tanzania to creating an approach to conservation that just might change the world. So the Jane Goodall Institute, JGI, launched Takare in 1994, and this community-centered conservation and development program partners with local inhabitants to create sustainable livelihoods while promoting environmental protection. Takare achieves conservation results by first consulting communities about their needs and priorities and working together to collaboratively design the future rather than imposing outside solutions. Esri enables communities thus enhancing collaboration. We are moving from individuals. We need to stop working in silos, work with each other within organizations, and by and large, we are working towards putting GIS to use across communities. How do we do this? We have ArcGIS Hub, and these support engagement and collaboration. And at the end of the day, it extends the power of ArcGIS online. So with the hubs, you have access to complete open data. It's a complete open data solution. You're able to organize community initiatives, teams, and activities, and at the end of the day, you're able to collaborate. So a link also will be shared in the chat for ArcGIS Hub. And in addition to what we are doing with the communities by supporting them, we are also inspiring them through geography. So Esri initiated its GeoPortal program in 2018, focusing on investing in people, businesses, and governments of African continent to foster an inclusive mapping community. By offering geospatial cloud infrastructure, free tools, and access to open data science libraries, the program paves the way for capacity building and education of future leaders. So we have introducing Africa GeoPortal. It is a one-stop shop portal for geographic content and comprehensive web GIS tools, which are free for single users residing, supporting efforts, or working in Africa. This will remove the barriers to entry geospatial technology, data, and learning for users working in or on Africa. It will enable a sustainable portal of portals for existing and new geospatial data focused on Africa. It will provide a platform to promote premium data solutions and value-add services to Esri users across Africa. So Africa GeoPortal is an enabler. It enables us discover, learn, and create. So with your account, you can access a variety of open data, learning resources, and GIS tools to help you grow your skills in the geospatial community. It's also an enabler for collaboration, sharing, and participation. So it is all about sharing and inspiring users to innovate, create outputs, and solutions that help fix real-world problems. It supports special initiatives such as land cover, above ground biomass, distance to water conservation, terrestrial ecosystems, air quality, just to mention a few. A link will also be shared on how to get started, and Wensi is also going to demonstrate on this. And finally, I'll leave you with a quote here. So a wise man once said, you cannot score a goal when you're sitting on the bench. To do so, you have to dress up and enter the game. As Esri, we have provided a platform, a launching pad for all conservation scientists to save the world and ensure a sustainable future for the next generation. I hope we are all ready to enter the game. I now invite my colleague, Wens, to take us through Africa GeoPortal. Take it away, Wens.
Thank you, Joyce. Hello, everyone. I hope you can see my screen. My name is Wenslaus, and I'll be taking you through the Africa GeoPortal. Now, the Africa GeoPortal helps us to discover, learn, and create. And you get to discover a lot of featured contents in our data library. You get to learn through a lot of our recommended trainings that are on Africa GeoPortal. You can use a lot of the essential tools available to you. You get to collaborate, share, and participate, as Joyce mentioned. And countries and partners create a lot of GeoPortal initiatives for all to access. And we also have the community sharing a lot of content. We welcome you to share as well, and you can participate in a lot of community events. How though? You can simply get started, and As you click Get Started, you can come and create a free account. Now, for you to be able to create a free account, you simply need to have your first name, your last name, your email, confirm your email. Please review the agreement. And if you're in agreement, you can accept the terms and click Next to get a pop-up in your email. And from that pop-up, you can confirm. And just like that, you'll have an Africa GeoPortal account like I do. And I've easily logged in here. You can see up here my details. Wenslaus Africa GeoPortal. It's free for all. Please be sure to try this out on your own. And in case you have any challenges, we'll always be here to support. Now, on Africa GeoPortal, as I dive a little bit deeper into understanding what we have here, you can access the data library, which is inspiring communities through geography. And as you go down further, you can actually see that there's so much you can get by just browsing. To view all, you can filter, and you can even get specific niches by just going directly to what you want. You can actually see here that by browsing, you can see a couple of things: building footprint extraction in Africa, elephant detection, and you can download this model, for instance, and use it in your ArcGIS applications, learn and utilize it, and even come up with solutions yourself. Let us search for biodiversity. All right. Let us search for biodiversity. Click enter, and as you search for that, you can see that we have a few components popping up, or a few results popping up. We have the carbon biomass, the Africa bioclimate. Let's take an example of the Africa bioclimate. You can actually see that on this map, or rather on this web map, you can actually see stratified classes based on factors that influence the distribution of plants and animals. And if I'm to zoom in into an area like Kenya, for instance, you can see that this is an interactive map. I can click on an area and get more information, get a pop-up that tells me the buffer applied. I can get the climate, that's a hot, dry area, and I can get the elevation aspect, and you see the source right there. I can go to an area like Kampala, get that the bioclimate in this area is hot, wet. I can actually see the elevation on that area, and so on and so forth. And this has been shared very simply on ArcGIS, African GeoPortal. I can come here and clear this. I can clear the search, and we go back to viewing all. And further to it, I can come and simply filter. I can come here and filter. Let's take an example of something like environment. You can see if I click on oceans, there's this application here showing building knowledge for sustainable development in Africa. If I come to Earth observations, for instance, I can see we have the water balancer. We have the Africa precipitation 2016 to 2018. Let's click on water balancer, for example, and come and see what pops up. You can see this kind of application that gives you so much insight. And if I click in a country like Kenya, for instance, Joyce really brought up a very good point on some of the weather components across the country, and maybe you are interested across the world. You can actually see how much insight you can get from the African GeoPortal. We do have a learning center as well, which gives you unlimited training material access. You get access to all these training materials. And an example here, as you can see, we have a couple of them. And let's just try and open one of them, where you can use species distribution patterns to assess protected areas. You click on it, you actually get a description, and we'll be able to do one of these on Wednesday next week. All right, so be sure to join us there at the regional center, all right, at RCMRD. And you can actually see that you get a step-by-step, you get descriptions, you can download data, and you get a step-by-step on how you can implement some of these training materials. So remember, this is under the Learning Center, and you can explore so much more. You can edit features to create enumeration areas, and remember, all these components have data sets that you can utilize. We have a couple of geospatial tools as well, and you have access to all these tools, you know, like ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Story Maps, the dashboards, the ArcGIS notebooks for people who love scripting, people who love data science and solutions that entail that. You can utilize the ArcGIS notebooks. We have some field applications as well. We have the ArcGIS field maps for the map-centric kind of data collection. You know, it has a focus on the map-centric data collection. We have the ArcGIS Survey 123, which has a focus on the form-centric data collection. You have the hub. The Africa Geoportal is built based on the hub, so you have that. We have the ArcGIS instant apps where you can actually create low to no code, right, applications. In fact, you don't need any code here. You can use 5 to 10 minutes to actually create something very quickly, and that's why they're called the instant application. Let's briefly explore Survey 123, for example. You see, once I click on the Survey 123 there, I can come and see all the surveys that people have been doing. You can actually see what others are doing across Africa. And I can come here and simply go to new survey. If I am good at using this, I can use the web designer, I can use Survey Connect. And remember, you also have templates that are available to you. Let's try and use one of the templates here. You can simply come to templates, maybe go to natural resources, and we can select report oil wildlife as the template we would like to use today. And when you come here, you can actually have an overview, see how it appears on the computer. This is how it appears on the computer, see how it appears on the phone. This is how it appears on your phone, and see how it appears on the tablet. You can simply look at it. If you like it, you can use it. We already like it, and we've decided that this is what we're going to use for our demonstration today. And remember, this is out of the box. You don't need to create any of this. You get the templates available to you, you simply configure. And how easy can it get? Can it get easier than that, really? And as it's creating, you can see that it has already created the survey tool. For this exercise, you can simply change this. Maybe we can change this name probably to Africa Geoportal webinar. All right, you can simply change that. Use that as the tag. The tag helps us. The tag helps us to be able to search for our survey tool online, or rather on ArcGIS online. Sometimes we have a lot of information. If I want to edit this as well, I can just come and edit that for the Africa, Geoportal webinar. All right, I can edit that. I can save that, and without any further ado, I can publish that. All right. So if I publish this, then you should be able to send us some surveys. I hope you can do some dummy data, sharing. You can actually be able to take some. We'll give you some 5 minutes maybe at the end of this to be able to share this. Or if you can multitask, like some of us can't, then please, by all means, go ahead as you're listening in to more components. Please be able to also share some data sets with us. And I hope you now see how easy it is to just get an account, first of all, to the Africa Geoportal. And once you're in, you can see how easy it is to actually utilize some of our technologies. And the only thing we request you to do is be able to collaborate, be able to share whatever it is you're doing with everybody, so that everybody can learn from what you're doing and other people can benefit just as much as you're benefiting from what other people are doing. As it's publishing, perhaps we can look at an overview of the others. I talked about the field maps, and you can see that as you open the field maps, you can come here and have your maps, create maps, or have your maps that you can convert into map-centric data collection components. You have the ArcGIS online access. You can see under my content, I currently have nothing. But if you come to my organization here, you get what the other people are doing on the Africa Geoportal. You can actually see a lot of components right there. On notebooks, you can actually come, and if you're a Python lover, then you've used Jupyter Notebooks at some point, or you know about it. It's the same technology. Esri has a collaborative arrangement with Anaconda, and you can actually see some sample notebooks here like deploying automatic notifications and so on and so forth. We talked about the, ArcGIS story maps as well. You can see a lot of the story maps here. And if you come to dashboards, you can actually find a lot of the dashboards done as well for, by other people in the Africa GeoPortal. And if you further come to the instant applications, you can be able to see some easy to configure applications. Like you just want, a countdown application, you want to have an interactive legend, you want nearby components, and so on. Please, as we're going through this, I hope that you will be able to now create accounts that we can use on Wednesday next week. And I'll be sure to see you guys there. And I hope you'll be able to create the accounts to utilize then. All right. So our survey has been published, but remember, for you to be able to share, you always have to come and collaborate. You always have to come and collaborate first. You have to come here, and this is the place where you can decide to share to the members of the organization. So if I share with the members of the organization, then only the people who have an account in the Africa GeoPortal will be able to access that. But because I'm sure some of you have not yet created the accounts, I can share it to the public, and I come here and save this. I can make it openable directly in the browser. Let me copy this and let me share this link in the chat. Just give me a second here to share this link in the chat right there. Okay. So I believe now you have the link, and you can please confirm if it opens, and please share something. Just share something. Share a simple survey. Give us your name, your location, take a dummy picture, and let's come to the dashboard after some time to the survey and actually look at some of the results that you've shared. As we wait for that to happen, we can also see the ArcGIS Hub, whereby you get to see a lot of the things that have been done by others. And all these are available to you in the African GeoPortal. So please do yourself a favor, create an account and explore as much as possible. If you have any questions, we are here. And Joyce will also share, or Margaret will also share the email in the chat section where you can get us directly through to sales, or you can get us directly through our non-profits email. Either, please be sure to reach out to us directly and we'll be able to get back to you. As I near the end, in the Africa GeoPortal, we have the GeoPortal initiatives as well. And you can actually see that in the community section, we have a lot of GeoPortals. We have, GeoPortals like the Africa Agriculture GeoPortal. If you were to click on this, you'll be able to see how that has been developed. You have national GeoPortals, like you have the Kenyan one. We have other GeoPortals as well from our partners. We have Digital Earth Africa. Please go and check this out. We have RCMRD. I cannot go without mentioning. We have the RCMRD GeoPortal as well. And we have so many other components here that you can explore. As they open up, let us just look at some of them. And you can also go and do this on your own. You can see the RCMRD GeoPortal. You can see the Digital Earth Africa GeoPortal. And you can come here and learn so much, also contribute where you can. And you can see the Kenyan GeoPortal as it is. You can explore a lot of the Kenyan, content, be it a lot of the coastline, shorelines, terrains, and so on. You can come here to the agriculture in Africa, and this is powered by Esri, and you can even know more about agriculture in 2050 and more components. You can come and have a lot of these segments inform you more about the agriculture in Africa. Further to that, when you come to the community section, we have success stories. And this can inspire you to be the next one up, because why not, right? And remember, you can reach out to us and share your story. we are very welcoming. As long as it's a story that can inspire others, and you do believe yourself that this story can also inspire others, then why not? And you can see here we have a lot of stories. And one of the examples that I can highlight is, you know, a conservation initiative to save African great apes. And please go and explore some of these stories. They are very rich and they're very inspirational. All right, this is a story map template that you can access under story maps. And you can create something equivalent to this. All right, we welcome you to try that out as well. We have events as well. And as you are exploring the community, please be sure to come to events, and you'll always see our calendar being updated. And we are able to at least inspire communities through geography as you conduct these events. You can always come and check back on your calendar and see some events. These are some of the past events. We had the RCMRD map competition, among many other events. You can actually come here and have a view of some of these events that have already happened. And also, do not forget to check out the webinar series recordings that Joyce shared, right? And be on the lookout for the next one, right? Some very interesting webinars on conservation, some very interesting webinars on biodiversity, and so on and so forth, all right? Let's go back to our survey. Is there anybody who has been able to share something? By anybody, I mean anybody. Let's find out. How easy is it for the survey 1 to 3 to work? How easy is it for me to design a form? How easy is it for you to submit something? So please, anybody, and people can also confirm in the chat. If you're not able to access the survey, please let me know, so that as we even go into the Q&A session, we can look as people update here. And I'll be looking forward to even getting at least one survey, to just show how easy it is for you people to receive the link, for me to design, collaborate, share the link with you, and you being able to submit some results to me. I'll keep refreshing just to see if we get any results. But as for now, I'd like to hand it over back to you, the listener. And please, if you have any questions, please indicate in the chat, type it in the chat,